In the heart of a dense, secluded forest, there stood an old, weathered cabin with a sinister reputation. The locals referred to it as the Haunted Cabin in the Woods, a place of darkness and foreboding that no one dared to approach after dusk. However, a group of adventurous college students, led by Alex, decided to spend a weekend there, determined to uncover the truth behind the chilling legends. As they hiked deeper into the woods, the foliage grew denser, and the air became thick with an eerie silence. The cabin loomed ahead, its skeletal frame hidden among the shadows of the ancient trees. The atmosphere was oppressive, but Alex and his friends were undeterred. Upon entering the cabin, a gust of wind howled through its broken windows, carrying with it a bone-chilling chill. The floorboards creaked under their feet, and cobwebs draped the corners of the rooms. Despite the creepy surroundings, the group tried to shake off their unease, convinced they were merely feeding into the stories they had heard. As night fell, they gathered around a dimly lit fireplace, trying to dispel the lingering fear with laughter and camaraderie. But the flickering flames seemed to cast unsettling shadows on the walls, and the distant hoots of owls created an eerie symphony that sent shivers down their spines. As they shared ghost stories, they began to notice strange occurrences. Objects moved on their own, doors slammed shut without warning, and the temperature plummeted to an unbearable degree. Alex, the most skeptical of the group, found himself questioning his disbelief as he witnessed these unsettling phenomena. One by one, the group decided to retire to their sleeping bags, seeking solace in the hope of a peaceful slumber. However, their dreams were soon invaded by haunting visions and inexplicable nightmares. They were tormented by phantoms and shadowy figures, their presence looming over them like a malevolent force. In the depths of the night, Alex woke to the sound of whispering voices echoing through the cabin. The walls seemed to vibrate with an unearthly energy, and he sensed an unseen entity lurking in the shadows. He knew they were not alone, and the terror he had once dismissed now gripped his heart with icy fingers. His friends, too, awoke in terror, their faces pale and eyes wide with fear. They huddled together, seeking comfort in each other's presence, but the oppressive atmosphere only intensified. The cabin seemed to come alive, its creaking timbers resembling the mournful cries of the restless spirits that had claimed this place as their eternal abode. Desperate to escape the haunting cabin, they decided to leave immediately, their nerves frayed and resolve shaken. As they made their way through the woods, the trees seemed to whisper warnings, as if urging them not to return. The oppressive aura of the haunted cabin in the woods followed them, a chilling reminder that some places are forever haunted by the past. Back in the safety of civilization, the group vowed never to speak of their harrowing experience. The haunted cabin in the woods had left an indelible mark on their souls, forever reminding them that the line between the living and the dead is thinner than they had ever imagined. From that day on, Alex and his friends knew they had crossed a threshold into a realm of darkness and mystery, a world where the haunted cabin's secrets would remain shrouded in the deepest shadows of the woods. Nestled amidst a fog-laden valley, there stood an enigmatic inn with a storied past. Its name, the Enigmatic Inn, was whispered in hushed tones by locals, who knew better than to venture too close to its mysterious facade. But for a group of thrill-seekers, the allure of this haunted inn was irresistible. Emily, Ben, and their friends decided to spend a weekend exploring the countryside, seeking adventure and tales to tell. The legends surrounding the Enigmatic Inn had piqued their curiosity, and they were determined to experience the paranormal for themselves. As they approached the inn, the air seemed to grow colder, and the surrounding mist shrouded the building in an eerie haze. The inn appeared abandoned, its windows boarded up, and the once vibrant colors of the facade now faded with time. Despite the unsettling atmosphere, Emily and her friends pressed forward, feeling an inexplicable pull towards the inn's foreboding entrance. Upon entering, they were greeted by an elderly innkeeper named Mr. Hawthorne, whose eyes seemed to hold secrets of ages past. He welcomed them with a cryptic smile, saying, "You've chosen an interesting time to visit. The spirits are restless tonight." Undeterred, the group settled into their rooms, each adorned with antique furniture and a lingering sense of history. As the evening descended, Mr. Hawthorne invited them to join a gathering in the inn's parlor, where guests shared tales of the unexplained. Around the fireplace, Emily and her friends listened to chilling stories of ghostly apparitions and unexplained occurrences within the inn's walls. As the night wore on, they began to sense a palpable shift in the atmosphere, as if the spirits themselves were among them. Late into the night, when the inn was cloaked in darkness, strange noises echoed through the halls. Footsteps sounded on the floor above them, though the upper levels were said to be unoccupied. Whispers carried through the walls, and the flickering candlelight cast dancing shadows on the walls. In one room, Ben claimed to have seen a fleeting figure in the mirror, its eyes gleaming with an otherworldly light. In another room, Emily felt an icy hand brush against her shoulder, sending shivers down her spine. Torn between fear and fascination, they decided to conduct a makeshift essence in the dimly lit parlor, hoping to communicate with the spirits that supposedly roamed the inn. They held hands in a circle, and Mr. Hawthorne chanted an ancient incantation. As they delved deeper into the unknown, the room seemed to come alive with a spectral energy. Cold gusts of wind swept through the parlor, extinguishing candles and plunging them into darkness. Unseen entities seemed to brush past them, their presence tangible yet elusive. In that moment, a chilling apparition materialized before their eyes, the figure of a woman in a tattered, ethereal gown. Her eyes were filled with sorrow, and her lips moved, as if trying to convey a message. But before they could comprehend her words, she vanished into thin air. Frightened and overwhelmed, the group rushed back to their rooms, the memories of the essence lingering in their minds. Despite the eerie encounters, they found themselves drawn to the Enigmatic Inn, unable to resist its mysterious allure. The next morning, they bid farewell to Mr. Hawthorne, who smiled knowingly as they departed. As they drove away, they couldn't shake the feeling that they had glimpsed into a realm beyond the living, a place where the enigmatic spirits of the Enigmatic Inn roamed freely, forever etching their presence in the hearts of those daring enough to seek the unknown. For Emily and her friends, that fateful weekend at the Enigmatic Inn became a memory they would cherish forever. A reminder that sometimes the most thrilling experiences lie in the shadows of the enigmatic and the supernatural. It was a dark and stormy night when Sarah and her friends decided to escape the hustle of the city and rent a secluded cabin through an Airbnb listing. The Whispering House, as it was named, was situated deep in the heart of a dense forest, far away from civilization. The online pictures showed a charming, rustic cabin surrounded by towering trees, but nothing could have prepared them for the eerie events that awaited them. As they arrived at the Whispering House, they were taken aback by its hauntingly beautiful appearance. The cabin seemed to whisper secrets from another era, its time-worn wood creaking in the wind. The rain poured down, adding to the mysterious atmosphere that enveloped the place. The owner, an elderly woman named Mrs. Everly, greeted them warmly and handed over the keys, saying, "Enjoy your stay. But remember, this place has a history. Listen closely, and you might hear the echoes of the past." Curiosity piqued, Sarah and her friends settled into the cabin. The interior was adorned with vintage furnishings, giving the place an old-world charm. As the rain beat relentlessly on the roof, they gathered around the fireplace, recounting ghost stories and legends, trying to scare each other for fun. As the night wore on, they started to notice strange occurrences. Doors that were closed would open on their own, and the sound of footsteps echoed through the cabin, even when they were alone. Sarah attributed it to the old building settling, but the uneasy feeling in her gut refused to go away. One evening, while preparing dinner in the kitchen, Sarah heard a faint whisper coming from the hallway. She shrugged it off, thinking it was just the wind outside. But as she walked towards the hallway, the whispers grew louder, and she realized they were coming from a room at the end of the hall. Fear gnawed at her, but curiosity drove her forward. The whispers seemed to beckon her closer, and her heart pounded in her chest. As she reached the room's entrance, the door slowly creaked open, revealing a dusty, cobweb-covered space. Inside, she found an old journal lying on a small table. Its pages were filled with cryptic writings and sketches. The more Sarah read, the more she sensed a haunting tale of a family that had once lived in the cabin. The whispers she heard were the echoes of their past, and the journal told a story of tragedy and sorrow. In a remote countryside, shrouded in mist and tales of the supernatural, stood an abandoned manor that had long been forgotten by time. Its very presence sent chills down the spines of those who knew of its existence, for the manor was rumored to be haunted by a malevolent spirit. Curiosity got the better of Rachel, an intrepid writer in search of the next great ghost story, and she decided to spend a night in the eerie manor to uncover its ghostly secret. As Rachel approached the manor, its imposing facade emerged from the dense fog, the overgrown vegetation seeming to cling to its decaying walls. The wind howled through the broken windows, as if warning her to turn back. But Rachel's determination to uncover the truth spurred her forward. With her camera and notebook in hand, Rachel crossed the threshold into the chilling darkness of the manor. The floorboards creaked beneath her feet, echoing through the desolate halls like ghostly whispers. She couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched, and the shadows seemed to dance around her, playing tricks on her mind. As the night deepened, Rachel found herself in what appeared to be the grand ballroom of the manor. Moonlight filtered through the tattered curtains, casting an eerie glow on the dilapidated furniture. It was said that this very room was the site of the tragic event that left the manor cursed. Drawing upon her courage, Rachel decided to conduct an impromptu investigation, hoping to capture evidence of the haunting on her camera. She set up her equipment and started asking questions, inviting any spirits present to communicate with her. To her surprise, as she reviewed the footage, she discovered faint whispers and unexplained shadows that seemed to move independently of any known source. Her heart pounded with excitement, as she realized she might have stumbled upon genuine evidence of the supernatural. As the night wore on, Rachel ventured deeper into the manor, guided by an unseen force that seemed to lead her to a hidden room at the end of a long corridor. Inside, she found a dusty, cobweb-covered book lying on a rotting wooden table. Its pages were filled with handwritten notes and cryptic symbols, detailing the events that had unfolded within these very walls. The journal revealed a chilling tale of a forbidden love affair that had taken place in the manor many decades ago. Tragedy struck when the lover's secret was discovered, leading to a series of unfortunate events that culminated in the manor's haunting. Rachel couldn't help but feel a sense of sorrow and unrest as she read through the heart-wrenching story. As the clock struck midnight, a sudden gust of wind blew through the manor, extinguishing the candles Rachel had lit. In the darkness, she heard a mournful wail that sent shivers down her spine. Panic engulfed her, and she knew it was time to leave. Running through the halls, Rachel felt a chilling presence hot on her heels, as if the malevolent spirit was eager to keep her trapped within its domain. Bursting through the front door, she stumbled out into the cool night air, her heart pounding with fear and exhilaration. As Rachel drove away from the abandoned manor, she knew that she had uncovered a ghostly secret that would forever stay with her. The haunting events she experienced that night would become the foundation of her most compelling ghost story yet, a tale that would captivate the hearts of many and reveal the enigmatic and ghostly secrets hidden within the walls of the abandoned manor. In the rolling countryside, hidden away from the hustle and bustle of city life, there stood a charming cottage with an enchanting reputation. Its name, the Enchanted Cottage, had caught the attention of Emily and her partner, Michael, who were seeking a peaceful getaway from their hectic lives. Little did they know that this Airbnb experience would be far more magical and transformative than they could have ever imagined. As they arrived at the Enchanted Cottage, a sense of serenity washed over them. The cottage was a fairy tale come to life, with its quaint, ivy-covered exterior and blooming gardens. The owner, a kind and mysterious woman named Alara, welcomed them warmly, her eyes twinkling with an ancient wisdom. Once inside, Emily and Michael were captivated by the interior, adorned with vintage trinkets and tapestries. The cottage seemed to hold a palpable energy, a feeling of being connected to something greater than themselves. Over the next few days, Emily and Michael explored the surrounding woods, lost in the beauty of nature and each other's company. The air was filled with the fragrance of wildflowers, and the sound of birdsong provided a melodic soundtrack to their days. One evening, as the sun set and the moon rose, they decided to have a quiet dinner outside, under the stars. The night was magical, and the cottage seemed to come alive with a soft, ethereal glow. They felt as if they had stepped into a fairy tale, where time stood still, and the world was filled with wonder. As the night deepened, Alora invited them to a bonfire in the cottage's garden. Gathered around the crackling flames, she shared enchanting stories of the cottage's history, stories of love, loss, and the connection between the human and mystical realms. Intrigued, Emily asked Alora about the cottage's name and the whispers of enchantment that surrounded it. With a knowing smile, Alora revealed that the Enchanted Cottage was believed to be a place where dreams and intentions had the power to manifest. It was a sanctuary where the veil between reality and the magical world was thin. Inspired by Alora's words, Emily and Michael decided to create a ritual of their own under the full moon. They wrote down their dreams and wishes on small pieces of paper and placed them in a jar, seeking to manifest their deepest desires. That night, as they slept, they had vivid and extraordinary dreams. They saw themselves embarking on incredible adventures and achieving their goals beyond their wildest imaginations. It was as if the Enchanted Cottage had woven its magic into their hearts and souls. The days passed like a beautiful dream, and as Emily and Michael they felt a mix of sadness and gratitude. The Enchanted Cottage had not only been a vacation spot, but a place of introspection and transformation. Back in the city, Emily and Michael noticed a shift in themselves. Their perspective on life had changed. They felt a newfound sense of wonder and possibility. They were determined to chase their dreams, knowing that the magic of the Enchanted Cottage had touched their lives in profound ways. From that day, they often found themselves reminiscing about their time at the Enchanted Cottage, and they vowed to return someday, hoping to reconnect with the enchanting realm they had experienced during their stay. And so, the legacy of the Enchanted Cottage lived on, forever etched in the hearts of those who were lucky enough to have tasted the magic that lay hidden within its walls, a place where dreams could come true and the enchantment of life could be felt in every breath.